And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put right sides together. So this is the right side, again, this is the wrong side, and you're gonna match up your side seams. And I always pin my side seams first. And again, I like to sew my seams so that they're nice and open. So that's what you press these seams open. So I always pin mine open as well. Coming over here, we're going to pin this side seam. And again, opening those seam allowances so that everything is nice and flat. Otherwise you can get bulk on one side, and with muslin it's not that big of a deal, but with different things it can affect it. Now this should match up flat with your back piece. If it's majorly off, you might have a problem. Make sure your raw edges are the same, and it should, like I said, the raw edge should come here. It shouldn't end at the actual, you know, where you pressed over, where you sewed. Same thing with your front. This whole front piece should be nice and flat, and you have two little notches right here on either side of center front. Those should also be matching. If those are way off, there's something wrong. See me. Okay, a few pins in here to make sure that our raw edges stay even as we sew. And again, I'm gonna pin at center back as well, and anywhere in between that I feel that I need it. And then I'm gonna sew these together. And again, before you sew them together, just double check you did right sides together. Always checking right sides together for when you need to do that. And then I'm gonna go around this circle, and I'm going to sew this at 1/2 inch with my regular stitch length, and I'm gonna back stitch here. Making sure that everything lays flat as I go. So you can always double check, you know, go slow. Do a little bit at a time. When you're going around a circle like this, you want to stop so that you can move your material around so that you don't get bunched up, and you can feel here with your hands whether things are getting puckered or not. Sometimes it happens, it's not the end of the world, it's not, you don't have to redo much, you just take out that little area, but you do want to sort of, if you can, keep track of it as you go, because then you know you don't have to fix anything. And you can sort of feel it. Like I said, accidents happen, not the end of the world, but you can control it. You'll get better at that as you get more experience as well. When I first started, everything had puckers, and I sewed over the garment itself a bunch of times. So once I have gotten that sewn, and again, back stitch at the end, just lost the fiber. We're going to press everything towards the facing. I'm not going to take this over and do that because I think I can do it and show you without it, and I don't want to, again, break the continuity and distract you guys. But basically, you're going to press this up, and you're going to press all of this towards the facing. So all of your seam lines should go towards the facing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to understitch. Now, you can choose whether you want to do your understitching from this side or this side. I don't care. As long as you're careful to actually keep it about 1/8 of an inch from the seam line. So for me, it's easier to make sure that you see that the seam allowance is, you know, actually getting caught in there, because this way sometimes it gets pushed over if you haven't pressed it. But this way you can actually make sure that nothing's getting folded over, and you can actually see what it's going to look like. So again, just make sure that if you're going to do this, you can also pin your seam allowance towards it to make sure it's actually going, but if you press it once with this muslin, with cotton material, you should be fine. So this is your understitching, and again, I'm catching all of that seam allowance and I'm solidifying it with my facing so that it sits inside the skirt and kind of holds it down. And you want to make sure